Well, good morning. It's another fine day here in the middle of the USA. We've got a little bit of a breeze. It's about 77 degrees. We're going to do the final install of the N-Fab product that I have purchased for the 2017 Ford Raptor. It is going to be the RKR rock slider or rock rails with the detachable steps. Mine is for obviously the Super Crew cab, or what is commonly referred to as a screw. This is going to probably be one of the simplest installs because the rails themselves and the steps are just put together with nuts and bolts. You just have to remove the existing running boards, which are held on by just a bunch of nuts, and they'll come right off, and then you replace the rails with the N-Fab provided lock nuts, and then you proceed to put the steps on. Of course, you don't have to put the steps on because they are detachable depending on your likes. So without anything else to talk about, let's see what's in the box. So what is in the box? Well, as you can see, we have a set of RKR rock rails. I will tell you, these are very heavy. They're a lot heavier than the running boards that are on the Ford Raptor themselves. They are designed to be rock sliders. If you notice, these are the tail ends, which also provide you a step right there at the back of the cab to be able to get up into the bed or reach into the bed if you're vertically challenged like myself. Also, there are the detachable steps with the mounting hardware, and of course just a little packet of nuts to replace the existing running board nuts, which that's all it's going to hold these things on. There's existing bolts already underneath the cab of the truck itself, so it's just a matter of fitment. Because of the weight of these, I'm going to use jack stands on one end and set them up and get one end started, and then lift the other into place, and then I'll start the fitment process. Very simple, very easy. This shouldn't take too long at all. One thing about the N-Fab products that I do like is that they have a 5-year warranty on all the finish that they put on their bars, and any lifetime defects for any of the product. Although I do like the Raptor running boards. I like the way they look. They're very wide, and I just think they look cool. But for under cab protection, especially if you're doing any off-road where you'll be crossing rocks and stuff like that, these are not going to be a very good source of protection for the under portion of your cab near the kick panels and stuff like that. So that's what the purpose was for this. And I like the idea that the detachable steps, you can either have them or not. Really, the only thing that you're going to need to remove the old running boards is a deep well 1/2-inch socket and a ratchet, and also the replacement nuts are also 1/2 inch. So it seems pretty simplistic. We're going to go ahead and remove both sides of the running boards. Like I said, it's just going to remove 6 nuts per side, and then we'll start the placement of the RKR N-Fab rock sliders. As you can see, the stock running boards that come with the Raptor, they're only held on with 3 nuts with some bolts that are attached to the underside of the vehicle itself. 3 nuts on the front, 3 nuts on the rear. Remove these, pull the running boards off and you'll be good to go. There's also some additional unused bolts that are attached that I'm pretty sure N-Fab has sought to utilize when they do this, when they created these rock sliders. As you can see, the original running boards have been removed. Took maybe 15 minutes or so, if that. All with the handy dandy deep well 1/2 inch socket and ratchet. Let's move on to the next part and let's get the rock rails put in place. Okay, to install the steps, there's a couple of mounting locations. This is one point, and then the other point is right here. You go ahead and put the steps up and then hang the screws, or I'm sorry, the bolts and the nuts. Put them up loosely. I recommend that you go ahead and just hang all 4 of them and make them nice and loose. And that way all you have to go back and do is tighten them up. Okay, as you can see, the rock slider is actually in place. Notice that it fits underneath the cab. You got the little side step so you can get up into the back of the bed. This is not a running board replacement at all. This is to protect your underside, or the kick panels, rocker panels. If you're doing any rock crawling or 4-wheeling or anything else like that. That's why I like the detachable steps. They work so well. Again, they did use the additional 3rd mount that the original running boards did not. Next, we're going to attach the steps that are sold separately from the rock sliders. These are detachable, so if you are actually out rock crawling and in an area that you're just they'll hang up, you can go ahead and detach them. It's a very simple installation. There's 2 bolts, 2 nuts on each step themselves, and they're 3/4 inch size, both sides. So you can either use a 1/2 inch drive, 3/4 inch socket and ratchet, or a couple of 3/4 inch wrenches, and you can quickly detach them. Now, I want to point out that the steps and the rails are currently sold separately, but I have been told that N-Fab is working on putting together a package that will save you a little bit of money from having to buy the steps separately and the rails separately. It's a cost savings overall, and it's a pretty good deal. So let's get to it. Okay, the steps are hung, and they're hung loosely, as you can see. One of the questions that you might have is, how do you know which side to put the step on when you go to mount it underneath the rail? Well, the mounting brackets that I showed you where they actually attach to, there's a welded side and then there's a clean side that's not welded, it's flat. You want to put them on the clean side, and that is actually towards the back of the truck. Okay, so there you have it, the finished product. Steps are tight. I jumped on them a couple of times, didn't seem to bend, had no problems. One thing I did want to point out was the bars themselves actually have two bars that go across. The one that's underneath the truck the most actually is down a lot farther, so it will actually catch any rocks or anything else like that first. Again, you got the little side or the step bed loop. It does not stick out any farther than the original running boards. Nice clean install. Now you got to remember these are produced, and N-Fab does try to test fit them as best as possible. You might need to get a center punch or some kind of bar to line the holes up when you do put them in, because they do fit a little tight sometimes. So that is the last of the installs for the N-Fab products that I have purchased, and I'll go over them real quick. The 40-inch pre-runner light bar. I'm sorry, it's actually called the 40-inch pre-runner radius light bar. The outer bars that take the place of the side panels of the bumper, with the mesh screen that's removable with J-hooks. And the RKR rock rails with detachable steps.